Graduating from college is a time when students can relax and not need to worry about the stresses of schoolwork, class projects, or final exams anymore. At the end of high school, most students are told by society that they will just have another 4 years of schooling until they are free from the bonds of a grading scale, when in actuality, it seems that more students are spending about 5 to 6 years as an undergraduate in college.
In many ways, 4-year graduation rate has always been a myth, right? I don't think it's anything new. We tend to focus on it, right? That college is 4 years, right? But it's been 5+, I think, for a long time.
According to the National Center for Educational Statistics, last year at UW-Whitewater, there were 10,214 undergraduates. Of all those students, only 27.5% of them graduated in 4 years, and another 54% of those students graduated in a 6-year time frame.
Our graduation rate in 4 years has been the highest it's ever been the last 2 years. So we had 29.9% graduate in 4 years, and then the 2 years ago, and then last year, again, the 4-year graduation rate was 27.5, our two highest ever. It used to be we were 12, 15, 18. I'm talking about 30 years ago. So over a period of time, we've dramatically changed that. I think we should still be thinking about how do we get more people done more quickly. And part of it is helping people understand they can save a little cost if they get done quicker, and they ought to really try to put together a schedule that will allow them to do that.
But sometimes trying to graduate quickly is easier said than done. According to UW-Whitewater's institutional researcher, Edward Furlong, he says, quote, certain groups of students have different situations that correlates with that individual's graduation time. For example, student athletes have the highest percentage of graduating by the 4-year mark.
I think that's because it has a lot to do with the support they have from their coaches, and they do get a lot of extra help through tutors and things like that, and their teammates getting on them, and we help each other a lot because we know it's hard to stay on top of your schooling and stuff. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
However, basketball player Courtney Kumaro is not as fortunate, graduating a full semester after her 4-year attendance at UW-Whitewater.
A lot of it was scheduling. A lot of my classes are during practice time, so I either have to pick between one class or another class. I can't take them both at the same time, or I can only take so many credits at a time because maybe I can only fit 12 credits in for my major. And then instead of taking a random class that I don't need to take just to have 15 credits, I only took 12 at a time, so it put me a little behind.
Other activities outside of the campus, such as working, can also pertain to a student's progress.
I decided to direct a show over at the Community Theater here in Burlington, and that took up a lot of my time, a lot more than I thought it would. And my grades slipped after that point. I was doing well before that, but then the show came, and I was new to directing, so I really didn't know what I was doing. And all the stress piled on quickly, and my grades just fell below the radar.
Dylan Epping is a former UW Parkside student who is currently suspended, but plans on returning next fall.
My grades were below a 2.0 GPA, and if they fall below like a 1.5 GPA the next semester, they suspend you for a year.
The low percentage of students who graduate in 4 years raises concerns as to whether the problem could also be related to advisors leading students in the wrong direction throughout the college experience.
Advising is key, and there have been studies to show that, that with good advising in place, good remedial programs in place, keeping an eye on students, they graduate at a higher rate. One thing I do think in terms of responsibility for the university, in particular departments, is that they need to make sure if they're requiring certain courses for that major that they're offered in a timely fashion.
It seems as though graduating from college and any other type of educational institution comes down to one thing: responsibility.
I think the responsibility lies with everybody, right? the university, the students themselves, and needing to take more initiative, I think, over their destiny. And again, I understand why it's hard. People think short term, right? You're thinking, I got to pass these classes, I got to work. When am I going to have time to map out my future? But people need to take that time, and I think that message needs to be stressed to students from day one.
For UWW TV News, I'm Nick Strong.